Great. Okay. Summary of contents. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our monthly Heritage Board meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Do we have any declarations of conflicts today? Okay, seeing none, can I get an approval of the agenda? Moved by Councillor Beck. Okay, second, and all those in favor? Great, thank you. Any business arising from the minutes? I should have said I need an adoption of the minutes first. I got ahead of myself. Okay, moved by Councillor McCabe. Okay, and any business arising from those minutes? Okay, seeing none, we can move right on to our agenda. We have 3 reports today, and the first one is 50 Victoria Park Roadway, and this is in addition to the Kiwanis Dairy Bar, and I believe, Todd, you'll be taking that one, so over to you. Thank you.
Yes, so the dairy bar located in Victoria Park. The park is a 40-acre site, which was a gift to the citizens of the island under an act of legislation in 1873. It's a significant landscape adjacent to the downtown area. It includes both treed areas and landscape grounds, ball diamonds, a playground, as well as a number of historical features that include the Prince Edward Battery and Powder Magazine, and the historically significant survey stones. The park is a municipally designated heritage resource. The Victoria Park and Promenade bylaw protects and regulates activities permitted in the park and is administered by the manager of Parks and Recreation. So this proposed alteration to the Kiwanis Dairy Bar has been supported by the Parks and Recreation Committee, who consider it to be maintenance to the operation of the facility and therefore does not require a public meeting to be held. The Kiwanis Club has operated the dairy bar in the park since 1955. It was established to help finance the Victoria Park pool following the funding by Kiwanis of the wading pool in 1952. It's noted that the last time the dairy bar was renovated was in 2010 when decks were added to the south and west sides. In 2001, Kiwanis partnered with the city to add washroom facilities. And the previous renovations were in 1994 when the dairy bar received a facelift with new windows, siding, and interior upgrades. So the proposal includes an expansion of the building to the east side of 10.5 feet. The roof line will just be extended and it will retain the same profile, and it will be shingled to match. The deck is to be extended on the east side to connect with the existing deck on the front. And all the walls are to be clad in wood shingle to match the existing. The addition will accommodate a staff washroom, walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler, storage area, and additional prep area. So it's noted the dairy bar itself is not considered of historic significance, but is located within the historic park. The modifications are in keeping with the existing style, and they have minimal impact on the outdoor space. So it's recommended that Heritage Board support the application.
Thank you for your report, Todd. Does anybody have any questions for myself or for Todd?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah? Well, if that's the case, we just need, does this need to go on to count? It doesn't. So all we need is, okay, and to second it. All right, all those in favor of, great, unanimous, wonderful. Okay, moving on to our second report. 267 Fitzroy Street. Recommendations to council on designation application. Over to you.
So 267 Fitzroy Street is located to the east of Cumberland Street on the north side of Fitzroy Street. The property owners have requested that the property be included as a municipally designated heritage resource. Heritage Board reviewed the application in April and recommended to council that they support it by proceeding to post a notice of intention to designate. It's a simple 1.5-story wood frame structure believed to date to 1878. A fairly extensive historical exploration has been conducted by the current owner. And their notice of intention to designate was advertised in The Guardian on June 10th and June 17th, 2023, and has been posted on the city's website to solicit input from the public. No input has been received, and it's recommended that Heritage Board recommend to council that 267 Fitzroy Street be designated as a heritage resource.
Thank you for your report. Any questions? No?
As a matter of process, what would ever lead us to not designate if somebody was asking to do it?
That's a great question. I'm sure there's something in our heritage bylaw around that, but I think I'll defer to Todd for that.
Not really too much, but we did ask the public for input if it was going to affect neighboring properties in some unknown way, or somebody was opposed for, we don't know, whatever reason.
If it's too far gone and, updates in a sort of negative manner, would that ever affect it?
Well, a condition would play a part, but I think the intent is that it would move towards restoration once it was designated.
Sure, yeah. Thanks.
I'll
Any-
make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second
Okay, and seconded by Sharon. All those in favor for us to move this along to council? Great, thank you. Motion approved. Pardon me?
In favor.
Yes, this one goes to council, yeah.
I support that too.
Hi, Norman, did you want to say anything or just supporting the resolution?
No, just supporting the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
And the one before too.
Yes, okay, gotcha. I forgot to tell everybody that Councillor Beck is online with us this afternoon. Okay, our next item on the agenda, our final report, 15 Richmond Street. It's an application for exterior alterations. And again, over to you, Todd, and I will note that the applicants are here with us this afternoon if we have any questions.
So 15 Richmond Street is a 2.5-story, multi-unit Georgian-style building which dates to 1823. It's on the north side of Richmond Street, mid-block between West and Rochford Street. The property, along with the property to the east at 19 Richmond Street, have recently been purchased by the same owner. An application for site development, including a driveway, parking for 6 spaces, and a ramp access to the neighboring property at 19 Richmond Street, was recommended to council for approval in April 2023. And again, an amendment was supported in May 2023 to move the driveway from the west side of the property to the east side. The current application is for exterior alterations to the building, including a 3rd-story shed dormer and a stair and balcony system for the northeast corner, and 2nd and 3rd floor balconies on the west end supported on posts. So the 3rd-story shed dormer is proposed to span the full width of the building on the rear side. Cladding and trim would match the existing wood. New windows on the 3rd floor will match the size of the existing 2nd floor windows facing Richmond Street. Each new window will have 2 wood single-hung panels with painted wood trim. Asphalt shingle roofing will match the existing. And there will be 3 dwelling units, 1 per floor. The layout on all floors remains the same. The dormer extension provides additional headroom for the existing 3rd floor layout. There's currently a stairwell that connects all 3 units that exits to the front of the house. The new decks and stairs provide egress for the 2 upper floors. Pressure-treated wood balcony stairs and support system is located at the rear of the building on the north end. It would have a 42-inch high guardrails with a 2x4 pressure-treated wood cap, 2x4 bottom rail, and 2x2 wood balusters and 6x6 corner posts. On the west elevation, the proposed new openings to the second floor, there'd be a new opening on the second floor and replacement of the middle window on the third floor with a door. The doors provide access to new balconies. The balconies on all the floors would be a pressure-treated wood, same system as the back, and the doors would be a single wood French door with lights to match the existing. So it's suggested that the proposed alterations are generally in keeping with the style of the building and add to the building's functionality. While it's recommended that the design be approved, it's noted that this is a very significant heritage resource, and all alterations should be carried out to the highest possible quality. Alternative materials may be explored for the stair balcony railing system, which may be more appropriate than pressure-treated wood, but it's recommended for approval.
Thank you, Todd, for the report. I'll open it up to the board. Do we have any questions? And Todd, if the board recommends to support the staff's approval, it doesn't need to go on from here, does it? Right, so the decision is just lies here with the board unless we don't agree with staff's recommendation. Any questions? No?
I do.
Okay.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Counselor Beck.
Yeah, I'm just a question about the pressure-treated part. You're saying could be possible alternative. What are that's a little loose for me in terms of what that all means, and I'm not entirely sure what that does mean exactly. Are you saying that we may possibly use a different form of wood other than pressure treated? And if so, what are the recommendations of what that would look like?
Thank you,
Could you
Counselor
clarify
Beck.
that a little bit for me?
Yep, I'll give it a stab first. I think the recommendation from the staff is to recommend the proposed renovations as is, and exploring other options, I think, would be the choice of the developer. And is that correct?
I think it would depend how we wanted to support it. I'm just saying that for discussion purposes. There may
Okay.
be other options that members of the board are aware of that may be more appropriate there or not.
Okay. But in your recommendation, staff is recommending it as is, the way the applicant has presented their application. Okay. Okay. I think the applicant would like to just say a couple of words here before we proceed. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity again. I guess I'd like to present it for discussion. What you see now on the back is as it exists. So we just be sort of extending that life safety, fire escape access as it exists now. We'd probably clean up, the lattice work into a baluster maybe. And the back would be pretty much as you see today. We'd love to hear what you have to say on the west side. I mean, I suggested glass panels. It was drawn in as wooden balusters, but the west, obviously, we're doing this for the view, to enhance the livability and of the units themselves, because it really is a unique node. And I think, as you see, there'll be more stuff through our discussions with the neighbors, the neighboring properties and the residents, come to Heritage Board as some exciting things happen down in that area. I think there's a tremendous opportunity just in the discussion with the utility department on servicing and potentially moving some utilities to the southern side of the street, acknowledging, you know, that there's a tremendous amount of pedestrian traffic and bike traffic down there. Less vehicular traffic, but certainly a need for one-way traffic on this West and Richmond section, and probably continuing Richmond through as a one-way, but an opportunity to use this node as you know, a pilot project almost, and developing a real niche neighborhood, as it already is, but to enhance, like one of the neighbors mentioned to me, cobblestones. If we're going to rip the street up and correct some of this stuff, why don't we look at enhancing, you know, it has a walking path and cobblestones, and if you're going to one-way, do a meandering option or something like that. So I think there's a lot of nice things that are happening down there, and we're just happy to be a part of it. Again, back to the west balconies, if anyone has some suggestions, we're open to considering any material that would take advantage of that view, because it's beautiful down there.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Does anybody want to discuss the material that Councillor Buck and Mr. O'Halloran brought up in terms of the balconies?
If I could, yeah.
Yes.
So I think the shed dormer on the back and the means of egress, those are, I think they're discreet just in terms of street visibility. I understand the livability, and they are kind of to the rear of the property from a heritage perspective. I do struggle a little bit more with these balconies on the west side. I understand and know the view down the street. I understand why they're there. I think in just looking at the concept that's presented, it almost just feels like the columns and the deck just need a little bit more detail in them. Not so much that I don't think a glass railing is really any more appropriate, to be honest, but it's the lack of detail, I guess, on the 6x6 posts and some of those things that would help tie it into the heritage. It's just that lack of detail a little bit in those. So I'll just leave that for food for comment, food for thought.
Okay, thank you for that. Anybody else? If not, we do have a staff recommendation to support the applicant's proposal. And so I just need somebody to move that. Okay, that's moved by Ken McGinnis. Do I have a, okay. All right, Tara, and, okay, motion is on the floor. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Great, that's unanimous then. Thank you very much. All right, any introduction of new business? Okay, seeing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Okay, thank you. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. That was fast.